pressing anything I'm eating.
Not the big red button.
Oh, yeah, those you have to push.
And we are live. Hello, welcome to Erin. Let me just get the next scene ready, just in case we get that. Yes, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Shadowrun, when I am GMing for the people below me, the faithful crew below me.
We are below you.
Yes, the wonderful, the same group as yesterday, minus one. There's one missing, isn't it? That's what I was thinking. On Wednesday, I should just GM for 2 people. And then Thursday, just as we go through the week, I just noticed I got purple underneath behind my lettering. I think that's because I'm nicking it from another scene. And so it's appearing on there. I think it's from Dungeons and Dragons.
You haven't nicked it from Dungeons and Dragons, have you?
Yeah, because it's the same. It's the same thing on OBS that I just keep using over and over again. So
outrage.
Why does FaZe have a golden dot by his name?
Because it lets me know what deck array I'm in.
Oh, I thought you had a coin with light on in your pocket because.
No, it allows me. It tells me that I'm in attack. So
are you in attack mode?
My attack sleaze data programming and firewall.
How exciting! So yes, so we are here playing Shadowrun 5th edition. Just make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. So everything is turned on, I think. Yes, it is.
I'm turned on.
Just make sure that you can talk as well, because I have a habit of doing that. No, everybody can hear you. So, so let me allow the players to introduce who they are and who they will be playing tonight. So first of all, down there we go to Chuggerwugger.
Hello, I'm Chuggerwugger. I will be playing FaZe. FaZe is the hacker of the group, so I deal with all the computer and device side of things. So I can hack guns, I can open doors, I can get information on the Matrix, which is the modern day equivalent to our internet.
I always think you're a decker.
No, they're hackers now, because you have to take into account the technomancers as well, because otherwise they get a bit shirty.
Right, yeah. Because I thought
you might wake up with a sprite in front of your face.
I thought you were both hackers, but you were a decker because you used a deck.
We've had to get rid of the thing decker. We have to say hackers now. So that's what I am.
I see what you mean. Yeah, cool.
Early 20s, bald, heavily tattooed, stands out in a crowd. He's not the tank of the party, just so you know.
No, that is completely true. And thank you very much for that. So now, next to pass it along, we have Longshanks EPG, who's just below me down there.
Hi guys, I'm Longshanks EPG. I play a character called Hector. He is the group's face, so he deals with all the social interactions and chatting and trying to persuade people to give them information and do stuff that they don't really want to do. He's also quite a dab hand at shooting people as well, as like a secondary side. And he also has acrobatics, so he does a lot of gymnastics and jumping around and stuff.
Cool, excellent.
Do you have acrobatics?
He does.
I think everybody has acrobatics.
Does now.
I think everybody has it. So I think everybody has everything. I just
don't use it.
Yeah,
I haven't used it yet.
I just think everybody has everything. But I always get mixed up because things like, is it in RuneQuest? Everybody does have is it an athletic skill?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think everybody has that automatically. So anyway, and then finally down at the bottom we have Big Beastie.
I am Big Beastie, and I play Billy Bob. I play Billy Bob this time. He is the tank of the group, the good-looking, charismatic orc. Is he an orc?
He is an orc.
He is an orc.
He is an orc.
I keep forgetting which characters my thing.
You only have one orc.
Yeah. He's small though. He's very gnomish in size.
Yeah.
For an orc.
he's a gnomish orc. And he usually drives, but now it doesn't matter who drives because everyone else seems to kick me out of the job.
Yeah, I was going to say everybody drives now as well, don't they?
I suppose we
We
were
just
just told
don't
to pick
drive
up
as good
driving.
as you.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I
you're
don't
the main
drive as
driver.
good as you.
I don't.
Hector probably does.
Okay,
Hector
I'm the
does
one
not.
that's had the least accidents.
Yeah.
So far, yeah, so
So
far.
far.
You're
Okay,
the only one with no claims bonus.
yes, you still have your no claims for it. Excellent. So, without further ado, let's get straight on, and I will play for you the introduction to the game of Shadowrun. And we are back. So there you go. So, welcome. Oh, no, I've got so many scenes now. So many scenes. That's what I want. Okay, then. So, let me bring you up to date, provide you with a quick synopsis of what's actually happening in the Shadowrun adventure. So, initially, the runners were actually hired. They went on a to meet their Mr. Johnson, who they nicknamed Two Troll Johnson because he has two troll bodyguards. And when they got there, they were something to do with they're going to be hired to actually do something about a mage or something like that. And just as negotiations came to an end, they were attacked by a group of people that they actually met in their last adventure. And a huge rabid critter dog appeared from nowhere and attacked the party, and Mr. Johnson instructed them to find out who had actually done the attacking and to kill them all, and they would be well paid. They managed to follow the van, I think from a wonderful overhand throw from FaZe. I think it was into the back of the car, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, an R-Fid tag.
It was pretty damn good.
And then they then followed the van to. All I can hear is the chinking.
He's muted now.
Yeah, they followed the. I should get paid for this, I'm sure. They followed the van to a warehouse down on South Side, where the party members went in to sort of like wipe out the cultists. However, while they were in there, not only did they find the comlinks of the missing people that had been reported in the newspaper over the past few months, they also found a woman who was trapped in a container. I think it was FaZe who approached her, and she lifted up a skin flap, and within it she produced a card and whispered something to the runners, including a very long number, and then said, that you need to go to Pier 51. Anyway, the party decided that this was the most helpful thing to do. And so at the end of the last adventure, they had decided to head off to Pier 51 to see what was going on down there. Now, it's quite late at night, so it's just gone midnight now, guys. So it's, you know, it's still night time, and you decided to sort of like adventure out there ASAP rather than sort of like leaving it to a later date. Okay, and we will dive straight in there. I'm going to move you. Oh, you got into the vans. That was it. One of you, Hector, stole the van, the cultist van, and Billy Bob and FaZe was in the van belonging to the runners, and you had headed off to pay Pier 51. It's about a 10-15 minute journey. So is there anything you would like to do or check before you arrive at Pier 51?
Does FaZe know anything about that area of Southside?
You can make your roll.
I'm thinking Small Life.
Yeah, that's cool.
Four successes.
Yeah, you know that there's a series of areas along the pier of the river in Southside, what was formerly known or is still known as the Thames, and it's really where barges or rig-controlled barges actually pull up to offload those huge container rigs. You know, the big metal ones. A lot of the shipment that comes in is actually highly illegal. And as you know before, because you've encountered it, there's a lot of drug smuggling done this way rather than coming through the normal procedures via aircraft, etc. So a lot of people sort of like bring illegal goods up the Thames, and if you remember, they managed to get through the initial blockade at the estuary nowadays. But if you remember, it was the same way as the Firebirds were bringing in the Jamili bugs.
How far away is it from? If we ever look on a map, how far away is it from delivery?
Well, it's If I just pop you across to that map. So, what colour is it for you guys?
What the map?
Delivered to you.
No, the map.
Oh, the map.
Normal colour.
It's normal colour, so it's the greys.
Yeah,
with colour splodges.
That's absolutely cool. Let me just delete that for me then, because on the stream it was green because of something. So it's very close to where delivery to use warehouses. Right the way along the sort of like the Thames, there are a series of these piers. Some are actually used, some are fallen into disused, especially through Southside, mainly because people don't use it anymore. Because of the general area, and you know, Southside, as you're aware, is not the best place to set up a business, so it's mostly used for illegal shipping.
Is it possible to bring up some type of map of it before we actually get there, so we can see about whether or not we can actually go down a side? Or
well, basically all the containers are right up by the side of the pier, and what they tend to have, each pier tends to be enclosed. If it's protected by some rich industry, some rich corporation, then it'd be walled. If not, it'll be wire fenced. And if it's just sort of like nobody's looking after it, it'll just be 100 containers that you can walk straight up to. So it really depends on who actually owns Pier 51.
Right. Is there any information on the matrix about? Oh, well, I wouldn't be able to find that out unless I. So we're going to head over to.
Well, you're approaching now because it was only like a 10-minute journey from the cultist warehouse. So you're approaching Pier 51. Whereabouts do you want to ditch the vehicles?
We'll ditch. Well, I mean, Rosie will leave. We'll leave a couple of blocks away, and we'll head in on foot.
Okay. And what about Hector's van?
Hector will do the same.
Okay then. So you managed to park a few streets away. I'm going to put your characters are actually on the map as we come across to it, so you should be able to see it. Yeah.
Yep. I can see.
Yeah.
Okay. You will notice. You should also notice that there's some black blobs on it. Have I set up the light right for you?
Some black blobs, did you say? Yeah, I can't. Is it sort of like a building?
Yeah, so there's 3 buildings, and you can see, if I tell you what you can see, and then you'll be able to sort of like figure it out. You'll notice that roundabout, if you zoom out, you can see that there's a variety of entrances, okay? And all these entrances are actually shut, and they're actually closed off, and the whole area appears is actually fenced off, and it's actually fenced off with a 3.5 meter high fence right the way around. On the actual picture, can you see over here? I'm just going to ping. This is the Thames.
Okay.
Okay, and it actually continues right the way round down that side. So it's not a case that you can sort of like jump off here and then jump back into the river. It actually goes right the way down the side. Anything that's got number 2s on are actually giant crates. Giant cranes. They appear to be inoperable at the moment. You can see that there's 3 buildings roundabout, and then you can see that these tend to look like the storage crates that you would take off barges. This one here, the reason this is blue than yellow is because the yellow one is stood on top of the blue one. Okay, the rest of them are purely one next to
Is
each
it double
other.
stacked then, or is one of them
Only
smaller?
that one.
It's double stacked.
Yeah, so the yellow one is actually on top of the blue one. Round the outside, these things here are lights, okay, but they're incredibly dim lights, and every now and again one of them is not working, as if it looks like it's blown its bulb or something like that. It doesn't look like this place has been kept up to date. It doesn't look like it's an everyday usable pier. You figure it's probably been some months since anything happened. This here phase in front of you there, this is, I'll just mark these on for you so you can actually see them. This here is a door. There's a door there that you can actually see into that front building. Okay, that's the only door that you can see from where you actually are at the moment.
Is there any window on it or anything like that, sort of like to look through, or is it, is it a hard metal door?
Yeah, they look like they're all single-story buildings. None of them have any external windows at all, and it just looks like quite a double door. As if it's probably slides open both ways to probably manipulate crates in and out.
Is there any type of keypad on our side or any type of handle that it could be open from our side?
On where you are at the moment, on that door. This one doesn't seem to have anything on the outside. It looks like it's obviously open from the inside. And you can also see, if you look sort of like here and here, it's quite obvious to see that it slides inside the building.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the runners probably are inside, so it slides inside. So there's a little alcove, then there's the door, and it obviously slides either way.
So FaZe is going to continue walking past the actual building, and when he gets to this pillar, he's going to stop.
Okay, yeah.
And he's gonna have a look around, and he's gonna see whether or not he can make anything out about these crates. What he's looking for is to see whether or not they're stamped up, because they normally have some type of stenciled number on them, and he's looking to see whether or not he can get whether or not he can match it, either the number of letters or to the information that we got from the woman in the crate.
Yeah, you can see through the fence, because it's not a solid fence.
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah, but this is a pillar, isn't it? So
yeah, but
if there was anybody looking from say the building, I would.
You can see on these that there appears to be almost like a QR code, like a barcode. So it's obvious that somebody would come along and scan something, and it would tell you what's in the crate. Can you remember? Okay. It's exactly the same as translocation.
Okay.
So
so there is a chance that QR code could relate to a number.
It could do. It's more roll your logic.
Why has it asked me to apply wounds? I don't have any wounds.
No, but if you did.
All right.
Yeah, you figure it probably has. You figure it probably houses some kind of order number. So yes, it could have.
Okay, so I'm going to continue round onto this pillar so that I can get a better look through the. So from what I'm seeing at the moment, it looks like there's actually a passageway that goes in between these two buildings as well.
Yes, there is. I mean, you can't actually see this side of the building at the moment because of these two crates.
Right.
Because these are two.
Okay.
Can you make a perception roll?
I didn't put any modifiers on it.
No, it's fine. Two's all right. You notice that on this crate, there seems to be from this end. There appears to be like a blue glow.
Coming from within inside?
No.
Or on top?
No. On the, almost like where the entrance would be, on the big, because this is where these would sort of like open out. And there's definitely like a blue, it's almost like a soft blue neon hum. It's all like going, like that. And it's the reason I asked you for a perception roll is because it's really faint.
Okay. Can I, whilst I'm there, can I switch into AR mode and see whether or not there's a device in that area?
Yeah, by all means. Well, once you go into AR mode and you have a look around everything, there appears to be nothing apart from the devices that you are aware of within your own team. There appears to be nothing that is actually in
I'm
that
not picking
area.
up any locks on the door.
No.
Nothing at all.
No, nothing wireless at all. And you can do for 100 meters, can't you?
How this pulsating blue? How big is it? Is it sort of like maybe I don't know. Is it more like, when you get sort of an alarm or a scanner? Is it sort of like a small pulsing blue, or does it look like there's something a lot bigger inside?
Inside
the crate.
Well, the crate is just a normal size. It just seems to be like probably a small box on the edge of it. I mean, it could be about the size of a maglock or a card reader or something similar to that, and it's just sort of like. But You haven't seen it.
Can I check for devices running silent whilst I'm in AR at the moment?
Yes, by all means.
Whilst all this whilst all this is going on, can Hector wander over to the previous pillar that FaZe was at? He wants to examine the gate, because I assume there's a gate of some sort there.
Yeah, the gate is literally just like a continuation of the fence. So it obviously swings outwards at this point. The actual hinges are firmly entrenched within the pillar. There's nothing accessible. You figure at this point there's no locks on it. It seems to be some kind of almost like a magnetic shut. There's no physical or visible locks. FaZe, you see nothing running silently.
Okay.
FaZe,
Hector will...
Sorry. There's one. FaZe, what's the -2 for?
Because I was in AR.
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah, got you. Yeah, sorry, Hector.
That's right. Hector will fill in what he's just found out about the gate to both FaZe and Billy Bob, saying it seemed to be locked by magnets rather than an actual physical lock.
The fence is 3 meters high. Is it top
3.5? Yeah.
3.5. Is
Yeah.
it top to anything? Is there any like razor wire or anything like that on top of it?
Not that you can see. But
I'm going to.
Yeah.
FaZe is going to head to the side of the dock. Whereabouts does the fence stop, and would it be possible to get round the edge of it?
Well, that's what I said right at the beginning. The fence doesn't stop. It goes. Right. It just looks like it stops, but it actually goes to here. Then it goes right the way along that grey line, up to the top. So it looks like this crane number 2, would actually lift containers up over, and then can you see these black lines?
Yeah, then they move along that.
Those are like the runners that the cranes would go. I mean, all these cranes, you figure FaZe are probably automated. They're not likely to have somebody in. They're probably remote controlled or rigger controlled from somewhere.
None of the buildings showed up as a host when I went into AR, did they? So it wouldn't be possible to actually use any of the cranes, because I wouldn't be able to control a device, because they're not operating wireless.
Like you said, you found nothing. You found nothing operating wireless, and you found nothing running silently. And there's no host. Yeah.
Sorry, the fence. I can't remember if you said, is it like the wire mesh type fence? Or is it? It is.
It's like wire mesh, and it's 3.5 meters high, and there's nothing. There's no sort of like barbed wire or anything on top. It just sort of like ends at the top. Whether or not the top is electrocuted or anything like that, or some kind of deterrent is around, you don't actually know.
Can I go back into AR mode and quickly bring up the schematics for the van that Hector stole, to get the height, and then to work out if we were on top of the van, whether or not we would be able to clear, or how far we would have to climb to actually get over it.
Yeah, I mean the van is going to be what? I mean, I have no idea how tall the van is, but I would have thought it was going to be 1.5 meters tall.
Right, so we're still going to have to
climb 1.5 meters.
So I think your options at the moment is either you climb over it, or you cut yourself a gap through the wire. And just so you know, so the wire has a structure and armor rating, like all objects do in Shadowrun. So it has a structure and an armor rating. And then you would normally do your damage. And the damage is adjusted depending what it is. So, for example, if you throw a grenade at it, it's adjusted more positively because it's can't. And then the wire actually resists using its structure and its armor together, just like you would dodge. You would use an armor roll. I can't dodge out the way. And then what happens is that whatever damage is remaining, if it's the same or equal than the structure of the wire, then you cut 1 square meter, okay, per increment. So if, for example, the structure is 3, okay, and you do like 3p, then at the end of all the adjustments, then you would cut a 1 meter hole in the fence, 1 square meter. If you did 6, you would cut a 2 square meter hole in the fence, and you can adjust that if you wish. So, for example, if you say to me, "I don't want to cut a whole square; I just want to cut a line," then that is possible as well.
Okay.
Or alternatively, I think you all do actually have a climbing skill.
Yeah, I think it.
It's gymnastics, isn't it?
Billy Bob's going to come down and give him boost over the fence.
That's fine. Happy with that.
I don't think climbing. I don't think climbing.
No, it comes underneath your gymnastics.
Right.
It's the same as the gymnastics roll.
Right. Okay. Face is going to go up to Billy Bob and say, "Do you have a toolkit in Rosie? Do you have a mechanical toolkit?"
I don't know.
Hector's going to pull out his survival knife, which has got a serrated cutting edge to it. Says, "This might do."
How tall am I? I think he's 6 foot. I'm pretty sure I can like boost him over.
Hector, you keep an eye out on the front. Billy Bob, you come with me. We'll use this as a blind spot. See whether we can cut through it. If we can't cut through it, then.
So if Billy Bob's 6 foot, that's 1.8 meters. So there's another 1.5 meters above the height of Billy Bob.
So we would come up to about our mid chest, and we'd have to heave ourselves on top and over.
Yeah,
and then drop 3 meters.
I don't want to be stuck
And
on
then
the
you
other
would-
side, having to rely on Billy Bob heaving us back if something happens.
And-
I'd rather cut through and then we have a way out.
And your point, Hector, is really important as well. You would have to drop the 3 meters. Well, you would probably dangle your height in meters and then drop the rest of the way. It's really helpful, guys. If you put in anything on your character sheets that it's in meters and kilograms rather than D&D, which is in feet and pounds. It's just that I mean, I've got like on my cheat sheets, I've got things like because I thought Carrot was going to get levitation at one point. I've actually got the weight of cars in kilograms, so I know how much it was actually. So I know that a large car is 1,985 kilograms. So I know how much to actually. To heave over. So I mean, all I did was that I just typed into Google 6 foot in meters, and there's a little thing that comes up, and then you can change it to mass, which is weight in their terms, etc. etc. Yeah.
Hector, you keep an eye out on the thing. Billy Bob, on me, see whether or not you can cut through this thing using your blade thing that you've got. It just needs to be big enough for us to get. So maybe doing just a line down. If it'll then bend in, if not, do an L shape.
Okay, so Billy Bob, you need to do your. Can you just use the drawing tool, whoever, and just mark on the wire whereabouts you're going to, just so I know for future. You should have the ability to do that.
You see it?
No. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yeah. So it's just next to that post. Yeah. So Billy.
So are we going to try to do a line straight down, and then depending on how bendy the mesh is, we'll put it. If not, he'll have to do he'll have to go across at the bottom as well, so it sort of like folds up.
Right. So you've only got 2 successes with your hand blade. Are you happy with that? Do you want to edge it?
2 successes.
Yeah. He rolled 13 dice and got 2 successes. You happy with it?
Harsh.
All right, I'll edge it.
It's up to you. I don't want to roll my my resist until I know what I'm rolling against. That's what I'm saying. Are you happy with
Am I
it?
re-rolling or just?
You
So hang on, was
If
that
you're using
including-
edge, you would roll 11 more dice.
So is that 2 successes plus his damage value then?
no,
Or is it just the successes?
So that's like I said, he has 2 successes now. So I am rolling. So that will give him 11p. Now I'm now resisting that. Now, for example, if it was plastic, that has a structure and armor of 1 and 1. This looks like it's high quality steel. It doesn't look like it's something that you'll find around a kid's playground. So say, for example, he's got 11. So if I got 11, say, for example, if he's got 11, he's doing 11p. So say, for example, I got 6 successes, then I would take that down to 5p. Now, he has to overcome the structure. So if the structure of this Y was 10, then he hasn't got through it. So he literally hasn't got through it. So currently he's at 11p. So it's whether or not he wants to up that physical, that damage or not.
You're muted, Big.
So how do I edge this then? If
you're edging it, just do normal roll and roll 11d6.
So down at the bottom there should be
5, yeah.
Down at the bottom.
Just put 11d6 in it.
Well, just 11. It should. You just put 11. So there's little down at the bottom. You just press 11.
So that's 5 successes.
5 successes. So that's a total of 14 p, isn't it? So 14. So okay then. So I actually got 7 successes with my roll. Okay, so actually takes it down to 7p. And so just so you know, I'm not going to tell you this every time. The structure rating of this fence was 6. So he's got 1 success on it. Now, so he sort of like takes a while and he starts to slowly try to hack his way down this a little bit at the time. So it's taking quite an amount of time to sort of like saw through this mesh wire. It's extremely well made, and it seems to be armored on top of that as well. And it's only as you saw through it that you suddenly realize that this is probably the only defense that this place has got. It doesn't seem to be any other defense apart from this wire. So
taking into account how long he's doing it, how many more attempts is he going to be able to be?
Oh no, he's got enough now to make the 1 meter. So there'll be a 1 meter high gap now that you can sort of like push your way through, because you just need to get over the structure, equal to the structure or over. So he got 7p, right. The structure's 6. I
didn't know whether or not that was just going to be sort of like, a section, and then he was going to have to do it another couple of times.
He can just do 1. That would be 1 meter. So if you just want to do a 1 meter high cut on it, then that's absolutely fine. But what I'm saying is that he's not going zoom.
It's not a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's taking him some time to hack through. One thing that you do notice is that there appears to be no alarms going off or anything like that. and you don't appear to be electrocuted. The fence doesn't come to life or anything like that, and you manage to go right the way down. It's interesting that when Billy Bob actually gets down to the ground, both I can't see where's Hector.
Hector's in the far right corner.
Okay, yeah.
Bottom corner.
You both FaZe and Billy Bob, you actually notice that the fence actually continues under the ground.
Right.
It doesn't actually just stop at the ground. It does continue underneath. So you can't just sort of like now peel it up from the bottom. It is a matter of pushing it to either side.
Just out of interest, as we were coming into this place, did we see any sort of like signs on the warehouses saying who it belonged to or anything like that?
No. The only signs that you saw that were on the back of the fence, so on the inside of the fence looking out to you, was white signs with red writing on it that said Pier 51.
Right.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'm going to say on comms so that Hector can hear us. I'm going to say we're in, and I'm going to push the mesh to one side, and I'm going to draw a line because I've got the wrong thing.
Yes, I noticed that. I didn't know whether or not that was you.
And then I'm going to go in. I'm going to be using stealth, and I want to get down here in between these two loads of crates.
So as you all know, stealth roll is opposed. So for example, you roll your stealth, I make sure of the number of successes you get, and then however I'm opposing it, I roll that and work out the net successes. If I gain more successes than you, or then I notice you, or you set something off or whatever, if you get more successes than me, then that's absolutely fine. You are stealthed. So you just need to roll your stealth. Fine.
Any situation modifiers for it?
I'll actually give you 2 extra dice because it's dark. Because
I'll need them.
Mainly because I'm rolling a visual. Okay, so that's 2
successes.
Okay, thank you.
So once I've got into sort of like the shadows in between these two, I want to head over here and try to get between these two.
I can't. Sorry, I can't. I didn't see where you pinged. Oh right, yeah, you're going in between.
No, I'm going to move it.
Yeah, okay.
And then once there, I want to look to the right and I want to observe in detail, see whether or not I can get some more information about what's on this crate.
Okay, yeah. Roll your perception, and now you're a little bit closer. And I'll give you +2 to your dice roll.
Three successes.
Yeah, it seems to be a keypad lock, and it has the normal punchy key thing, and the glowing thing seems to be its power, and it appears to be. You think originally it probably was on constantly, but now it's obviously losing power, and it's sort of like it's fading, so it started to flash on and off.
Okay,
guys,
the only other thing is this.
Are you sort of like? Are you guys sort of like communicating this between yourselves all the time? So, FaZe, are you subvocally saying that through your comm links?
Only when I say on my comm link.
Okay, cool. Sorry, no.
Is there another one of these QPR? No, that's
QR codes.
QR codes on it.
All the other ones have them on. This one does not have it on and has this powered keypad on it.
So the only other crates that are any different in here are these two here, and those are the only two that are double stacked.
But they are in themselves exactly the same as all the other crates. The top one is this smaller one of every one, but they all are exactly the same as all the other crates. The only one that appears to be any difference is this one. and it seems to have no markings on it at all. No QR code, nothing scannable, and it appears to have this keypad on it. And from where you are, Face, from where you've moved to, none of the others had any keypad on them at all.
Okay, so is it just sort of like tied, and then it has those bars that you pull down on either side and then pull it out, just like a normal container?
Well, the others probably do. This actually has a lock on it.
Yeah, that one, but the other ones are the same. Right,
So-
okay, so Face is going to go onto his mic, and sub-vocally he's going to say, all the crates seem to be the same. There's one that has some type of maglock on it, seems to be independently powered. Can't tell whether or not it's the one that we want to be in. I think to do that, we're going to need to break in and maybe get one a QR code reader. But there's nothing wireless, so unless they've got a standalone computer, that's the only way that we're going to get the codes.
There's no QR code on that container.
No, I want about getting the QR for the other crates to see whether or not I
just wanted to make sure that you realise that this one does not have anything on.
Is it a keypad?
Yeah, it looks like.
How many digits was the number that we got from the girl, the woman?
How many was it?
It may take me a while to find it in my book. I shall find it now, though.
Like 6 or 7.
Can I make a memory check?
Yes, unless you've got the keypad number. Your memory's a bit fuzzy over that. You were a bit discussing that she lifted up a flap.
It was a nice flap too.
Okay, Face is going to have a look around the corner, and then he's going to make a dash as quietly as he can, trying to keep as close to them down here, so that he can maybe access the keypad. But before he does it, he's going to wait for like a minute, just so that he can observe around this area here, just to make sure that there's no movement or nobody's
Right,
seen
okay then. So while you're there, I'm just going to draw something else on for you. So there appears to be another door here. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's actually okay, I'll give you. You figure there's another door there as well. It's debatable.
The door that I can see here, is it the same as the other one, or does there seem to be some type of
exactly
lock
the
on it?
same. It's recessed into the wall, so it probably slides open, and the same to the one on the left as well.
There's no I didn't see any sensor or anything there, so
no.
Okay,
and all this area down here is dark.
It's dark.
You know.
Okay, I take it I'm going to need to be exactly in front of the thing to access the keypad.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to crouch down. I'm going to go in front of the crate, and I'm going to. The first thing I'm going to do is put my ear up against it to see whether or not I can actually hear anything inside.
Okay, perception roll. Do you have any enhanced hearing at all?
I don't have any enhanced hearing.
Okay,
no.
then. So just a normal perception roll.
Any modifiers?
No. Oh, wow.
4 successes.
Okay, then. You can hear something inside. There's definitely a lower hum in there. You managed to filter out the hum of the keypad lock, and there's definitely a lower hum coming from within the crate. It seems to be. It doesn't sound like it's, and this only because you got 4 successes. It doesn't sound as if it's right the way up against the door. You probably think that it's quite the way into the container. but you can almost like hear a hum. Just roll your logic and intuition. Do you have a hardware skill?
I do indeed.
Do logic.
I do believe, yes.
Well, either hardware or electronics. It's up to you.
I'll do my hardware.
With your logic.
Any modifiers?
No. Yeah, you think it's electrical.
5 out of 9.
I know, it's a good roll. You definitely think it's electrical. So you can hear the keypad going because it's running out of power. But
And that's got its own power. So
Well,
if something else is making a hum,
but
and I
well,
didn't
if I
see
tell
it
you,
as a device,
hang on. If I tell you what you can hear, but inside you can almost like hear
like a generator. Okay. I'm going to go up to the keypad. I'm going to make sure that it's reset, ready to take a number.
Yeah, you can tell how many digits it needs now. 11.
Okay. I'm going to type in 4787219018 and press enter.
Say again, sorry.
4787219018
Yeah. Yeah. The keyback goes. You type it all in, you press enter, and it goes, and it just says access denied.
I'll turn my comm. Anybody else get the code down? I don't get any response, so I'm going to move across here to these doors. Can I see anything different about this door?
Wait, which one? Because you can see them
The
both.
one that I wouldn't have been able to see.
No,
from the-
it's exactly the same as the front one. They all seem to be identical doors, and they all definitely.
So from my side, I can't see any way of actually getting into them.
No, they definitely open from the inside.
Okay, what's this down here?
This, sorry. Now that you're down here, that there's a door there.
Same again. Any type of.
Oh, this appears to be like an opening shut door. It's obviously an entry into somewhere.
Okay, I'm going to make my way.
Hector and Billy Bob, this because are you just like standing where you are at the moment?
Billy Bob's going through his memory bank to see if he can remember the code.
Okay, roll a memory skill.
Hector is he had been keeping an eye out on the thing, but once FaZe went in, had been gone for a few minutes, he's going to make his way up to Billy Bob, nod and duck in and stealth, sort of like to about here.
Excellent. Billy Bob, you think, because you were quite, if you remember in the actual cultist place, you were actually quite a way away from what was happening in the crate, but you think you sort of like think, and you sort of like think, yeah, FaZe did enter 11 numbers, like 11 digits, definitely 11. Hector, can you roll your sneaky roll, please, or stealth? Sorry.
Okay. I can't find the sheet that from last week.
Do I have any modifiers?
Yes, it's just +2, sorry, because it's a perception. It's light. Cool. That's not very. That's another. You guys, you're not rolling really well today. That's
I got 6 out of 9.
Yeah, but that stealth was 2 out of 10, wasn't it?
6 out of 9. I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah, you're pretty safe. Yeah. Okay, guys, what do you wish to do?
Can I get to the edge of this? I'm just trying to work out where the edge of this building was.
Yeah.
Can I see anything down in this area, or?
No, it just goes straight through up to the wire fence again. But what you can see, just so you know, there is another door. Oh, sorry. Let me just get the right colour, because otherwise it's going to be confusing. There seems to be another like office door there.
Hang on, whereabouts? I just need to move myself. Right, that's okay. I just need to move myself because I've snapped to a grid.
Yeah, just use
it Alt to take?
Alt, yeah. Alt and then move will allow you to move yourself.
Hector, having seen that FaZe has moved on and moved up, he's going to do the same, but instead of going to like via the alt container, he's going to carry on going up by the containers, pause for a second, and then make a stealth action, like up to about here.
Yeah, cool.
Do you want me to roll another stealth?
No, the stealth will do now until the next
so
time.
On this door,
yeah,
is there a lock?
Yeah, it seems to be like a key card lock. You figure it's probably how how workers would have got in. You know, they would have just slipped their key card in, taken it out, and then walked in. Sorry. Yeah, so it looks like they would just like put their key card in, and the door would open for them.
Bloody kids. Never have kids. Bury them in the back
Okay,
there.
I'm going to. FaZe is going to. He's going to head back to this. Why can't I move now? Oh, it must be. I'm snapped to grid again. I'm going to head back onto this. If the thing that I know about electronics, if the power was to fail on the actual lock, would it open or would it just remain shut?
Okay, do you have an electronic skill?
No, I have a hardware skill.
Right, yeah. So
I have hardware, software, electronic warfare, computer.
Yeah, so your hardware is mainly to do with like computer stuff. Anybody who's got electronics or locksmith would more likely to know. But the only option that you could do is actually go into the matrix and actually search it. You know, get your your deck out and do a matrix search if you wished.
Hector is going to hit his subvocal button on his mic and go, FaZe, how's the lock coming?
It's a lock. Did you remember the code?
I did not, but I'm all right with locks, if you want me to have a look.
Well, you either have a look or we just wait here until it opens by itself. I've tried Open Sesame and nothing's happened.
You did not try Open Sesame. That's a fib.
So with that,
Hector, roll
Hector's
your.
going to sneak over.
Do you have locksmith?
Hector has lock picking.
Yeah. Okay then. Roll your lock picking with logic.
I'll say to Hector, there's either a generator or some type of drone on the other side.
So it probably
I'll stand back.
Yeah, it probably defaults to agility, but you need to redo it to logic because I want. Yeah.
Done that. 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. You know that if you were to fail this lock, if the power was to fail on this lock, the lock would shut down, and actually, it would remain locked you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So it's really important that you get the lock open when it's got power, because after that, even if you went inside and pressed all the right buttons, there's no power to it to actually flip the switches. You would have to provide some kind of electrical power to it.
Is there any of those little hand ladder things to climb up onto the top of it, like you used to get on them? Because the things to attach it, they used to put them
there's little
or is it now all sort of like changed because it's
there are still ways to get up on top of the crates. They're still around.
Can I FaZe is going to send a message sub-vocally to Billy Bob and say it might be worth getting up high, keeping an eye out, see whether or not you can see anything, watch our backs.
Oh, it's like a sniper. It's like God. What's that film?
The Sniper.
No,
Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs. Yeah, when he's right there up in the tower in the and they're leaving, and he sort of like says God, and he's just like, and he's up on the crane,
And he has
isn't
to
it?
switch to infrared, and then he
shoots them
fires
through the wall. Yeah. So Billy Bob, are you going up on the crates?
Yeah, he's gonna climb up.
Cool.
Can he reach, or does he?
Yeah,
have to,
no. I mean, normal workmen do it. So for you, it'd be no problem at all. So you can just move yourself up on them. So Hector, do you wish to pick this lock?
Hector has a look at it and examines it, and then sort of like thinks about it for a few moments, and turns to FaZe and says, "It's a bit of a bastard to pick, because if I turn it off, it's not going to turn. It's not going to open. It will remain locked. If I make a mistake, it's going to remain locked. I could do it, but it's going to be hard."
Well, logic would dictate that you open it, because otherwise it's going to remain locked.
Unless there's a key card or something inside one of the buildings.
It's a key check. The only way that we're going to do is to actually check the buildings and get but by that time the power might have. We're wasting time. Pick it.
Okay.
So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to take the casing off. Okay, so that is your locksmith plus agility. It's limited by your physical, but that should take it into account. And it's actually one combat turn per go at it. So it needs to be on the extended test that you need to roll it on. I know it'll do it wrong, but I can work it out from there.
Does the lock seem to be flickering more and more, as if to say that the power's getting
No,
less and
if
less?
anything, it will pulse less and less.
Right.
So it'll be like go, and then.
And is it doing that?
Okay, hang on, because we've got a critical glitch here. So I need to know where the critical glitch actually happened.
It's the very last one. Roll 6.
That's all right. So after it takes you 3 combat rounds, to actually fiddling with your keypads and everything, your little locksmithing pick from your wherever you keep your lockpicking set, to sort of like mess about with it, and then you manage to take the front off it.
Okay.
FaZe will say, "Is it done?"
And Hector will not even look up. He's concentrating so hard. There's the odd bead of sweat sort of like coming out of his forehead, and go, "Not yet."
Okay.
And then you want me to roll it again, don't you?
Is this to open it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Sorry, roll for it. So
that was on the first one. I got another critical glitch, and it was on the first roll.
Oh yeah. You start to mess about with it, and you suddenly remember something from the back of your memory comes up about the last time you picked a lock, and
Approve.
something about checking whether or not there's any anti-tampering device set up. And that sort of like comes to you just as you're sort of like messing about with the wires inside the lock to actually activate it, and you suddenly notice that you click something, and you suddenly gas shock horror, you've actually bypassed the wrong circuit, and the lock goes on that critical glitch, and the lock turns off.
You just hear Hector go. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin the stream, but lots of expletives start coming out of Hector's mouth as he's muttering away. And he just punches the lock as well.
Fraser just sort of look at him and say, "Is it open yet?"
No. It's kaput.
Right.
The only option is to try and kick the door down.
A container door.
Yeah.
You would have to blow it. It's like
Did you
several sheets of metal.
Out of character, did you not have any edge that you could have got rid of the glitch?
Nope, I used them both last time. I've only got 2 edge.
Right.
So Hector, sort of like really pissed off that he's not managed to get this in, is going to go, well, the only thing we can do is try the room, try the houses, the buildings, see if they've got anything. Unless anyone's got a grenade that they've not told anyone about.
Billy Bob, do you have a grenade?
Oh, no, I just dropped one out.
Okay, I'm going to. Face is going to listen again at the door. Can he still hear the humming inside?
Yes, yeah, because you've heard it before, you can definitely still hear it.
The locks is the lock independently powered?
Independently from what?
Well, does it have its own power source? It's obviously powered in some way to the lock. I'll ask Hector whether or not we can actually get power onto the lock again so that he can have another go. Is it possible to jury rig a battery from the crane onto it to see whether or not we can get power to it and have another go at doing the lock?
Billy Bob wants to ask what happens if the power dies to it. Does
we already know that it locks itself out.
It stays in whatever state it was in. Basically.
I was going to say, because if it's powered, if it's a magnetic lock and it's powered and the power to that dies, would the magnetic not just?
No, we already looked at that to see whether or not we could do it. Do you know the answer?
I know the answer.
Hector?
No, basically.
It doesn't.
Well, in which case, roll a locksmith plus logic.
One success.
Yeah, even with one success, yeah. Of course, if you put power to it, you can reactivate it, because otherwise all doors that lost power would be locked forever and you would have to blow them open. So if you can get some kind of power to it, it will activate again, and then you'll be able to carry on picking it. But it's a matter of getting some power to it.
What's it going to need?
Well, it's going to need... basically, anybody with electronics can probably get something together. So you
would a power cell in a comm unit work, or would it need to be something a bit more?
It's probably going to be something a little bit more powerful than a comm unit. You're probably who
would he be able to jury rig the med kit?
Hang on, who's got electronics skill?
Nope.
Has anybody got electronic skill?
I thought the hacker would have something like that.
No, they hackers do computers, which is completely different to electronics. Do you not? Is it not in your skill group?
That's what I'm trying to work out. No, it's not, because I only had one skill group.
No,
I only had one.
I thought it was in the. It's in. So I'm just opening your.
That's right. I can see.
Yeah. It's actually in.
Is it in physical skills or science?
I think it's a separate skill.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, electronics is the one that's the group skill for software,
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, that's the sort of like overall thing. So it'll probably come into your hardware. You'll be able to find out what you actually need from your hardware, and then sort of like get it, put it together to form some kind of makeshift jury rig to sort of like get it together. You're not going to find it out here though.
We're going to need to break in and
Yes.
actually into
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
into one of the buildings. And at the moment, we've got two that we can choose from. Chances are that this one's going to be loading and offloading. Let's check this one. FaZe is going to say we need to get into one of these buildings. We need to get electronic kit and something to give us some type of power. There's two doors. There's one directly in front of you, Hector. There's one just two round to your right. We need to get into at least one of these buildings ASAP.
Okay. Are they locked as well?
Yeah, they're just key card locks.
Okay. Hector's going to try lock picking this one again, seeing if he can take the case off.
I don't think you can do that one. You can do this
no.
one here, and you can do this one around the corner. Those two are both sliding ones that are internally sliding.
You know what I said right at the beginning, that there's no way of going. Just as you come around the top, just out of interest, there's actually you do notice that there's another door just there. Can you see it?
Okay. This one, where I'm standing now.
Yeah.
Okay. Has this got a pickable lock on it?
They all three of them have key card locks on them.
Do you have a keycard passkey?
No, I can't. They're too expensive. And I think they've got quite a high rating as well.
You've got one?
No, I haven't, because I think they had a higher rating than you could get at character creation. That's why I also couldn't get an auto lock picker.
You have to try to open it.
So that's the same. That's a locksmith plus agility.
Oh, it is. I can pick it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any lock can be
you have
picked.
to take the casing off.
What's that?
And then you...
What's that from? Any lock can be picked if you've got the right tools and the right time.
No idea. Oh, sorry, I've done the wrong thing.
Ocean's
Extended.
11.
It sounds like something like that. I'm sure it was like an introduction to something.
Crap.
There you go.
Oh,
The second one, sorry, because I did it as a normal roll rather than an extended test.
I saw. Okay, yes. So you managed to take the casing off this one. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to do the same again to try and open it.
Cool. Yeah, these seem to be really easy locks, and they don't seem to have any anti-tampering device on them at all. And you quite easily fiddle about with your lock pick, and then you hear this click, and the door opens. Let me just show you what's inside. You should be able to see inside now, and go inside.
I can see past it inside. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Hector's going to say.
Yeah, I'm quite happy for you. you can see everything that's inside now. So you can see this goes into some kind of an office.
Right. I can't see that. I can see from, hang on, I'll ping there. Okay, thank you. So yeah, Hector's going to go over on his sub-vocal mic and go, I'm into this one. And he's going to walk into the office.
And all the doors in this place are not actually locked now. However, there isn't any light on. There seems to be the opportunity to put lights on, but normally when you come in, you just like wave your hand over, or the sensors pick you up and turn the lights on, but it's not happening. And you think probably there's no power to the area, or to the building.
Okay. So I can't see. I've got low light vision in my naturally, but that's how far I can see. What I can see.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine. Hector is going to move through into the main sort of warehousey bit and see if he can see sort of like piles of tools or anything that he can use as a battery.
Well, all those are sort of like those are all crates. So if you roll your locksmith and your intuition skill.
FaZe is going to go over to the door and look in.
Yeah, you think you can manage to grab some something that you might be able to jury rig this, and some power cells and some wire that you might be able to sort of like FaZe might be able to put something together to put some power to it, so you can actually try to pick the lock again.
Okay. And then on his way out, he's also going to have a quick scan of the desks to see if he can see a keycard for the other buildings.
No, it's everything. It looks like the whole place has been cleared out some time ago. It's sort of like, even in the office that you can see FaZe, there's no papers on the desk or anything. It's just the table. The drawers are pushed in, but even opening the drawers, there's nothing in them. The chair is pushed underneath the table. It doesn't even look like it's been left in a hurry. It just looks like that this place is probably not used.
No QR scanner or anything like that?
In the office. There's not one in the office. Hector, roll a perception roll.
Four.
Yeah, there's Hector's managed to pick a QR scanner up from this, sort of like the loading area.
Okay. So with my bits for jury rigging and the QR scanner, he's going to head out and pass them to FaZe and go, this is what you wanted.
I'll have a look at the power cells and the bits that he's given me. Is it going to be enough to actually do a...
Yeah, you're going to you can get power to it, but you figure probably only power for one to 3 attempts. And then the power will be drained, because this lock is going to drain a lot of power. So the power cells are going to provide sort of like 1 to 3 goes. And then after that, you're going to have to go back and get some more cells and provide more power to it.
Okay, so with the things that FaZe has, he's going to go back to the actual area where the crate is.
Yeah. So
and I'm going to.
So you will do your hardware plus your intuition. That'll be your roll. Okay. So as long as you don't fail, you will put power to it. And then Hector will roll his locksmithing plus agility on an extended roll. And as long as he does it within the first 1 or 3 hits, because you don't know how long it's going to last, then the door will open.
So hardware and intuition.
Yeah.
Any modifiers?
No. Okay.
2 successes.
Cool. So now, so you sit down and you manage to connect a whole lot of things. And Hector, you notice that the lock suddenly goes, as it's.
Can I help at all?
Do you have locksmithing?
No.
No, so you can't.
Okay.
Because
that's-
and the only reason for that phase is that locksmithing does not default
Okay.
to anything. So now you do your locksmithing and agility. So
Okay.
it says critical glitch, so I'm just hoping it's not within the first 2.
It is
No, it's
the very last one.
Yeah, it's
roll
that's
7.
fine. So it actually lasts. The power actually lasts for 2, but Hector manages to do the keypad lock. You notice the number come up on the keypad. So Hector's sort of like moving his thing, and all of a sudden he connects it, and the number flashes up. And you automatically see it come up, and it says 9842674921, and that's obviously the code for the keypad. And the door goes, and you hear it come off its lock. Hector, you can hear now that the door's open. You can hear the buzzing from inside. Sorry, it's not a buzzing; it's a humming.
Hector goes, "We're in." And he's going to he's going to take a half step to the side and carefully put his lock picking kit away and put it in his back pocket. And then put a hand on his taser and look to FaZe and say, "Are we going in? Or are we sending Billy Bob?"
I'll sub-vocalize to Billy Bob. Billy Bob, come to the edge of the container you're in. We're going to open the doors, pulling them in, and you should be able to see from an elevated position what's in the crate.
Mm-hmm.
If needs be, move out the way, but even if it's something like a turret, it's going to take time to actually track you, because it's not going to be expecting something to be elevated, and even then you're going to be used anyway. Once he's in position, I'm going to grab hold of one of the doors and I'm going to pull it, but keeping behind it as I pull it open.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Do the doors open in or out? I was going to ask.
Outwards.
Out.
Always.
Okay, that's fine.
Always
Hector's
outwards in the container, because otherwise
That's right.
you
lose space.
Yeah, you lose space in it.
That's right. I was just checking because I didn't know if it was one of those fake containers, if you know what I mean.
No,
They've just been built purposely to make it look like a container. But yeah, Hector's going to mirror FaZe in his actions. He's going to grab it with his right hand, and then he's got his left hand on his taser.
Excellent. So the doors pull open, and Billy Bob, you can indeed see into the container. However, due to your elevation, you can't actually see right to the back of the container, but you can definitely see in. And there appears to be, from about this distance going back to the back of the container, there seems to be some kind of I'll say it in what you would see it, relating it to modern day, but it almost looks like a futuristic coffin. It's made out of metal. It seems to have a transparent top on it, but it's very curved and streamlined and very sort of like it looks very expensive. It doesn't look like some trash. It looks very expensive, and even with the doors open now, it is definitely this thing that is humming, but it's not humming as if it's about to explode. It's a humming as if it's got its own power, and it's all like going.
Hector, not hearing any gunshots as soon as he opens it, or screams, or anything like that could mean a threat. He's going to peer his head round. Container door.
He's going to wait till he hears from Billy Bob.
Yeah. Okay. So Hector peers his head round, and you can see what I've just described to Billy Bob.
Hector is going to relay what he saw. Has Billy Bob actually got a sub-vocal mic yet?
No, but he's on comms.
He's on comms.
Okay, that's right.
And you're only just there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Are you going to relay the
No,
information?
I'm good. No, Hector will let you. But Hector's like draw has kind of like gone quizzical. He's looking at it quizzically, going, "That's not what I expected at all."
Then Billy Bob says, "Look clear."
Okay, hearing that, Face is going to go round the door and actually into the container.
Yeah.
Hector's sort of like going to hover just inside the entrance, but sort of like looking out.
Cool.
So how long is it? If I'm in the container, is it human length? Is it longer than that?
It's definitely adult human length, the pod.
Is there any glass on it? Anything that can be seen?
There seems to be a almost like a face plate that is transparent glass, and over the top there seems to be a whole load of dials, and there's one of those things that going billim, billim, billim across the
oscilloscope.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's measuring heart rate across the top, and there's a whole load of buttons, including a keypad.
Okay. Faze is going to go up to the end where the lucky places, and he's going to look through the glass, see whether or not he can see anything inside.
So it's sort of like it's probably not glass, it's probably some glass substitute, but you notice that there's a body of a young teenage lad in there, and you could. Does anybody have any science knowledge skills?
No, negative.
Phase? No?
Not Billy Bob woke up.
No? Okay. So, Phase, roll your first aid skill with intuition.
And the modifier. Intuition rather than...
Yeah, intuition.
And then let me change any modifiers.
No. Yeah, you figured this is you figure it's a cryo tube.
Oh, right.
And
Sorry.
the young lad is in cryogenic stasis in there.
Hector is saying, "Are we going to wake him up here, or should we take him back to the house?"
Do we know why he's in here?
No, but we were told to come and get him by his sister. This probably isn't the best place to try and revive him. He could be anything, sick, dying, panicky. Not the best place. Should we go and get the van? Stick it in the van.
You're going to have to get...
Do what with it?
Just out of interest, this is not something that you can sort of like pick up between you. You're going to have to get some kind of lifter to pull it out and sort of like put it in. There is the keypad on the top.
Can I press the enter button to see how many digits it comes up?
Yeah.
Is it 11?
It certainly is.
His heartbeat's regular. Is there any signs on it? This must be pretty high tech.
It is. It's extremely high tech. Even the lock that Hector picked from the outside was high tech. And
that's why he struggled with it.
This cryogenic pod is extremely high tech. I mean, you don't find these around left, right, and centre.
Has it got any sort of like grab thing on it so that it hovers or anything like that, or is it?
The only thing it looks like it's this crate has been adapted so it locks into place on the actual base of the container. You can easily release it to pull it out with lifting equipment, but the whole area, the whole cage, the whole side container is very high tech. You also notice, Phase, that there's something strange about the walls of the container as well. The actual the container walls appear to be thicker than what you would normally expect.
Okay, so I'm going to go on subvocal, and I'm going to say, right, there's a person in here. I don't think we're going to be able to get them out. I think we're going to have to actually open it. We're going to have to get the container. We're going to have to get this tube out the container. We're going to have to find a way to get the van into this area. We're then going to have to load it and get the van out.
That's okay.
I can't see a way of doing it.
And then we can try and crack it back at the garage.
How are you going to get the van in? We've got doors that are locked magnetically. I can't hack them. There's no lock on it for you to get them in. It's all magnetic. Unless there's something in one of the buildings, there's no way that those are going to be open, but there's no power in the buildings to be able to...
Yeah, this whole place looks like... If anything, it seems very strange that something this high-tech would be in a pier like this that is obviously quite deserted and has been from the office for deserted for quite some time.
Hector says he can only imagine they're trying to hide it in plain sight. That's the only thing he can think of. Sort of like, where's better to hide somewhere so high tech and pricey than right under everyone's nose?
Well, unless anybody's got any better ideas, we either open it and hope that the guy's okay, and if not, we get him to Ida.
Ida would be a sensible place to take him, yeah.
Or we try and take the cryo tube.
We can't take the cryo. How are you going to get the van in?
You would have to ram the van.
Ram the gate.
At one of the gates.
And hope for the best.
Either way has their risks. Basically.
Then you're going to have to find some...
Okay, we vote. Billy Bob? I vote we open it. Billy Bob?
Go for it.
That's fine. Try and open it.
Okay, so I'm going to go up to the keypad and I'm going to type in a code.
Okay, go for it.
478721900187.
It goes, access denied.
And it's 11-digit code.
Yeah.
Again.
Hector is going to have sort of like half watched this. So seeing that the code's not going to work, he says, "I'm going to check the buildings for a trolley or something." He's going to go off and he's going to start off in the first warehouse he went into.
Yeah.
When he eventually manages to get there, and he's going to look around for some sort of trolley or something or lifting equipment that we can use.
Okay, yeah. You can head off to try to look for that.
Can I, coming out of it, these cranes, is it open?
The cranes are purely automated.
Right.
You can't actually sit in them. There must be sort of like a control center somewhere that you haven't found yet. But they're used to lift the crates.
But would it be possible, if we could gain access to it, would it be possible to actually use this one to lift it and maybe lift it over here and then move this one down and use this one in this position to then lift it over and drop it on the opposite side of the.
Oh, you mean put the actual crate?
Move the actual crate outside, and then we would have to do would be back the van up and then manhandle the.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously these crates are used to lift the containers up over the fence. In any case, because that's how they would be put onto rigged flatbeds to be carried elsewhere. So on over the fence onto the Thames. So if you got them together and had a suitable, you figure that these are actually rigged, so they're almost like remote controlled from somewhere. So there'll probably be some kind of corporate rigger who is actually expert in cranes. He's probably not a shadow runner, but that's probably what he does. So he probably goes somewhere and sort of like connects it and moves it around. There's nothing in that room that you're in now, Hector. That room just appears to be all storage boxes.
Okay.
And that's it.
In that case, Hector's going to leave that one and go to the other one.
Okay.
And obviously he's got to try and pick the lock.
Does it look like this tube can be forced in any way?
Forced as in, are you back inside the crate? Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Forced as in.
Can it be? Is there a visible gap in between the two parts? Could it be prized open?
It seems to be that. I mean, it's almost like it's there's a data jack. You could probably do one or two things. You can connect the medical kit to it. There's a port to connect medical kit to it, which is quite common practice, because you connect it up to it to actually monitor, to make sure everything's monitoring correctly.
But it has a UDP on it as well.
Yeah, but it also has a data jack, so you could actually data jack into it and actually make sure everything is functioning correctly.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to.
Yeah, Hector, that door is now open. I'll open it for you. Hang on a minute.
Thank you.
So you should be able to see.
Is there any lifting equipment or anything? Because I'm assuming FaZe hasn't passed on what he's seen yet.
There's no lifting equipment in there either.
I'm going to pull out the monofilament wire from my data jack, and I'm going to plug it into the tube.
Sorry, Billy Bob.
Billy Bob was going to try and test it, see how heavy it was, see if he could drag it out.
Well, it's actually clamped to the floor at the moment. So if you release those magnetic caps, so it releases it, it's extremely heavy. The amount, because if you think about it, it's not only got the body in, it's got all the electronics, it's got a cooling system, it's got the water to turn to ice to do the cryogenics. So it is immensely heavy. You don't even, maybe all three of you might be able to push it, but that would be it. Yes, FaZe.
FaZe look at Billy Bob and say, "Who's keeping watch?"
He's got to go back out and keep watch.
Okay.
And he'll jack into this unit and see.
Are you going?
Comes up.
Are you going AR?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing that you notice is that once you jack into it, this whole container is, you can only see in the container. You can't see the matrix out of this container. It looks like it's totally and utterly sealed off from the matrix altogether. And
it's not like a Faraday cage, is it?
Yes, very similar to it. And this pod is not running wireless. So you figure the only way you would be able to do anything with this pod is actually to be in here. And even if it was running wireless, you wouldn't be able to go outside. And you're thinking to yourself, why put it in a cage or in this container that is so well protected if it's not running wireless? And it's almost as if it's belts and braces, as if it's unbelievably complicated. And you just can't see why put it in a cage when the device is not wireless. To use a popular phrase, it doesn't compute. Does that
make stop people actually locating it? What was if the cage? What was if the actual whole thing was? What was if the container was more magical to stop it being located magically?
Well, it seems to be. I mean, you don't have a magician or anything like that with you at the moment, but so you don't know whether or not you could see it astrally. But it's definitely stopping you seeing AR outside.
Okay, but at the moment, I'm jacked into the lock.
Yeah,
into the actual.
You're
device.
actually jacked into the pod, so it comes up on your AR screen. So it's sort of like comes up, and you notice that all the biomedical readings come up, and you notice that everything is stable. Blood pressure stable, heart rate is naturally reduced but stable, breathing is stable. Also comes up the details of the person, and it's called Crowther, Rupert, and that's who's in the pod. And you also notice on the AR pops up whereabouts it's going, and it's due to be collected, or it's on its way to Yang Industries.
It's on its way?
Yes.
Where did it come from?
It came from America, Seattle.
On the biometrics, does it say that might be anything wrong with him? Does it give,
It gives no other information apart from his name, and that it's been shipped from Seattle, and it's by order of, or it's to be delivered to Yang Industries.
Does it say when the pickup is?
No. There is. It's quite easy now that you're jacked in to actually set the process off to deactivate the cryogenics. You don't need to hack it or anything. It looks like the outside protection is that. It seems that once you're in here, you can literally plug in, and then you can it just comes up on your AR, and you can literally just go ching 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 chom, and activate the decryogenic to defrost the person.
But why would they be transporting him? Okay, so I'm going to go back onto the comms. Is everything still clear outside? Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Everything seems clear.
Right, it looks like there's a way into it. I can open it.
That's good. Hector,
UDP ports.
Hector says, because I didn't find any lifting equipment, and he's going to make his way down to the container again. And then say, do you want me to go and get the car? Or does Billy Bob want to go and get the car, and I'll keep watch? Because then we can just leave when he's ready, rather than having to hang around and walk him across the place when he might be a bit shaky.
Yeah, we don't even know whether or not he's going to be up at all, but I don't know how long it's going to take to defrost. Do they defrost?
I have no idea, but it's better to have the car or the van waiting.
It takes
just jump in it.
It takes longer than the modern day freezers. Because they take although mine
Right.
automatically defrosts now. So
Yeah, get the car, and I'll start the process running.
Hector will say, Billy Bob, do you want to get the car?
I'm going to start the process to defrost him.
okay, so once you press the defrost or the deactivation, it doesn't actually say defrost; it says deactivate. Or reverse cryogenic process. There's various alarms that sort of like flash, but the computer voice comes up and says cryogenics deactivating in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Process initiated, and you hear sort of like a as almost like the liquid carbon starts to sort of like evaporate out of the pod, and you hear the pod actually go as it sort of like clicks itself open that little way, and to aid the process. And there's various flashes coming up in your AR saying things like, please do not remove the cryogenic patient. Please do not remove the patient. Please do not remove the patient. And is somebody getting the car?
Billy Bob was meant to be.
So Billy Bob, keep watch.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay. In that case, Hector would have gone and got the car.
Okay, then. Cool. Okay, then. So, and after about 5 to 10 minutes, the process sort of like stops, and the pod opens up away from you. And the young lad, you figure he's about 17, 18. He's dressed in what seems to be like a full body sort of like heavy lycra suit, almost like a chameleon suit. And he has gloves on and boots, and he actually has a hood up over his head as well. And it's sort of like you get the message, phase, patient ready for extraction. You know, on the AR.
Can I put my med kit on him and just?
Well, you can still you can still see the bio readings from the pod.
I just want to see whether or not my med kit might pick up anything like toxins in his blood anything like that.
Go for
just it. Just as a secondary test.
Yeah.
Am I using any modifiers? I want to use the rating of the.
Yeah. Car comes round.
The rating of the thing. Any other modifiers apart from my?
There are, but I will apply them.
Okay.
So Hector's going to park. Like he would have reversed it.
Is this the van?
This is Rusty Rosie.
Okay,
Rusty
got you.
Rosie.
You connect the medic kit, and the medic kit doesn't even respond. It almost like you attach it, and it just starts to read, but then it just goes and it stops. It literally just stops, and that's it. And you're sort of like going like that, and it literally, it's just not working. And
can I see whether or not my com's working?
Yeah, com's still working. You sort of like press these things down on this lad, and everything says that it should be working, but it's not. You notice that his eyes are moving behind his lid, as if he's almost like in
REM
sleep. So you think he's probably coming round from the cryogenics.
Hector's going to say with the sub vocals, "Carl's here."
Okay, he's still unconscious, but he's ready to move.
You could probably assist him, Faze, if you put one of his arms around your shoulders, you could probably move with him. He's coming round. He'll probably drag his legs now and again, but he's quite a lithe sort of like lad. He's not sort of like a big muscly guy at all. He's almost like, imagine sort of like almost like a 5'6" geeky guy. You know, so he's not sort of like huge. And in many senses, he's almost like a kid. You know, even though the biomedical readings actually said his age was 17.8.
17.8?
17,
right.
Yeah, because it metrianizes everything.
Okay,
yeah.
so FaZe is going to help the guy out, help Rupert out, if it is indeed Rupert.
Yeah.
He's going to get to the door, and he's going to ask whether or not everything's clear. Is it all clear?
All clear.
Road's clear.
Okay, he's gonna head out, and he's gonna say, right, we're going. We'll head to Ida's, and helping Rupert, he's going to head to the cut in the fence. Somebody's going to have to be on the other side to help out.
When Hector's still going to be sitting in the driver's seat, but as soon as Billy Bob gets near the car, he's going to shift over into the passenger seat to let Billy Bob drive.
Cool.
So I'm going to.
So somebody, are you on the outside of the fence, Hector? So FaZe can pass you this guy through, because otherwise he's just going to fall on the floor.
Or I'll. Can you hold him, Billy Bob? I'll get through, and then you pass him through to me, and we'll get him in.
However you wanted to do it.
Yeah, so I'll hand him over onto Billy Bob, and then I'll climb through.
Excellent.
And then Billy Bob, and then we'll stick him in the back.
Yeah.
And once it's in the back, then I'll get in the back as well.
And then head off to
Ida's. We're going to head off to Ida's.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break there, but Billy, FaZe, you sort of like set off, and this guy is sort of like muttering a lot now. And can you just roll a memory check for me, please?
Any modifiers?
No. As you're driving away, you suddenly remember something that was in the pod. It wasn't in the pod. It was just down at the corner of your AR. And you didn't pay much attention to it at all. And it's only when you sort of like got back into this pod and you going away that you notice that the pod had been damaged and repaired, and the CO2 scrubs, the system that actually takes the CO2 out the air, because if you imagine somebody who's breathing in cryogenics is still producing that CO2, and in a sort of like a sealed environment, that needs to be recycled. And you suddenly remember seeing, quite strangely, that it actually came up as an alert some 3 weeks ago, and it seemed to have repaired itself. And it started off fine. 3 weeks ago, it started to error, and there was a build-up of CO2 that would significantly, in the end, actually cause suffocation. But it actually fixed itself, or somebody fixed it, and then it was operated.
If this crate's come across from America, would it have been travelling across when that would have happened? Or it depends on how long it's been here. We don't know how long it's been here.
Correct. Okay, guys. Okay. Let's take a quick 10-minute break. So I will put on. Oh, I can't find it. I'll put it on this, and we will have. Let me count down. Put that on. Take that off. Take that off. We'll have a quick 10-minute break, and then we will be back in 10 minutes, guys. So please, why is that not working? Oh, there it goes. Don't go away, because we'll be back soon.